Hello, I'm State Representative Linda Valentino, and I'm running for re-election. Before you say, let's get rid of all the incumbents, I hope I can persuade you to take a look at my record over the last 6 years. I realize that many people are not concerned about what I've done in the past, but they're more concerned about what I'm going to do in the future. Many politicians can make very grand, unrealistic promises during a campaign. But the real test is not in what a person says, but what a person does. That's why I hope you can take a look at a few of my past actions and see what I've actually done for you. There is no denying that Maine, the country, and the entire world is in a global recession. Many people saw this coming, many didn't. I was one of the ones who back in 2008 made a very courageous decision on the Appropriations Committee when I was a member. A vote came to add $200 million to the state's unfunded liability. It was a very controversial vote, and my leadership wanted me to vote for it. At the time, I stood up to the leadership and the special interests and cast the deciding vote not to add this money for a burden for the people of the state of Maine. I did that, and I ended up being not reappointed to the Appropriations Committee. It would have been very easy to have just voted yes and retained my position, but I cannot do that to my constituents and to the citizens of Maine. I need to do what is best for them, not what is best for me. I have a proven record of fiscal responsibility and independent thinking, and that is what I will continue to bring to Augusta with me if reelected. That was 2 years ago. This year, when my committee voted to go 5 times the budget for gambling addiction, from $50,000 to $250,000, I again stood my ground. I went against my committee chairs, and I went against leadership. I went against the 10-3 report and stood on the House and gave a speech against this astronomical increase in a budget that nobody is really using. I was very successful. I overturned the report. I had over 90 representatives agree with me, and it did not go through in that fashion. We worked out a compromise, and it actually went through with a lesser amount of money. But again, I showed fiscal responsibility and independent thinking. I'm able to stand up to leadership, special interests, committee chairs, and other representatives to do what I feel is right for Saco and its citizens. I have also been a very strong advocate for campaign finance reform. I have submitted numerous bills on these subjects, and all have been defeated. As a clean election candidate, I do not have a PAC, and I do not take any money from special interest groups. Also, as a clean election candidate, I feel it is my responsibility not to take endorsements from these special interest groups. In order to receive an endorsement, they send you a multiple-page survey on hypothetical questions and ask, how are you going to vote on this issue if it comes up? We don't vote on hypotheticals in the legislature. We vote on real issues that have language and have a fiscal note attached to them. Until I see a language in bill, until I see a fiscal note, I do not know how I'm going to vote on the idea. It may be the best idea in the world, but if there is no money to fund it, we cannot do it. You know, when I cast my vote is based on the bill, not on who gave me money or who endorsed me. In other government reform, I introduced a very controversial bill this year to change Maine from a bicameral legislature to a unicameral legislature. This would be a one-body legislature, similar to what Nebraska has had since 1937. This one piece of legislation would have saved the taxpayers in the state of Maine $15 million in the budget. I was very successful in the House. The House voted to do the unicameral. When it went to the Senate did not even have a debate. They simply defeated the bill. A unicameral, I felt, would have promoted transparency, efficiency, and accountability to all the citizens of Maine. I am running for re-election because I feel the same way you do. I am frustrated with the way the state of Maine is going and with the economy. I'm tired of the overregulation in my husband's business and in other businesses all through the state of Maine. I want good paying jobs for my children. I want a quality education for my grandchildren. And I want affordable, decent health care for my elderly parents. I have worked hard, studied hard, and been a very strong voice in Augusta. I have stood up to leadership, to committee chairs, to special interests, and to lobbyists. I have always voted in what is the best interest of Saco and Maine citizens. My husband's family arrived in Saco in 1679, 330 years ago. Me, I'm a newcomer. I've only been here 45 years, but we have very strong roots here in Saco. Our children are raising their families here, and I would suspect that our grandchildren will be raising their families in Saco also. I have a very strong connection to Saco and to the state of Maine. That's why I'm asking for your support on November 2nd on Election Day. If you need more information, please visit my website, www.lindavalentino.com. Thank you very much.